You are listening to a pleasure podcast. For more from our sex podcast collective, visit pleasurepodcasts.com.
Hello and welcome back to the Horny Housewife podcast. I'm your host, Jordan. If you're watching on YouTube, you might be like, she's on the floor. She's on the floor. Why is she on the floor? I just feel like being on the floor today. The rug down here that you can't see, very like if you were 18 years old and took Molly, you'd be like, the rug. So that's what I'm feeling right now. And I don't hold the microphone anymore because y'all don't like it. Even though 1% of my audience watches on YouTube, please just go subscribe to the YouTube channel whether you watch or not. Okay, thanks. And it gives me comfort. And so because I can't do that, because y'all are like, your hand is weird, bitch, I'll I can stim down here for this episode anyways. Which, by the way, this episode, I had an influx last week of listener questions, specifically through the DMs, which was cool because a lot of times, most of the time, if you're new here and you don't know, listener questions is a big part of the show and really kicks off, we get off on tangents or it ties into other topics, all impacting marriage, long-term relationships, the ups, the downs, stuff we all relate to in some form or fashion most of the time. And if most of us can't relate, it was still juicy and tea enough. We're like, you want to hear this shit. But this week, y'all in the DMs, we're feeling close. I feel so seen by y'all. And I love so much when people will message me. I love it when women message me more than men because I just as a fellow woman, you really feel seen. But I love hearing from people in general being like, wow, this podcast made me feel like not alone in the thoughts that I think in marriage and that I'm not hopeless or I'm not defeated or we're not weird or we're not fucked up or everybody's fucked up. We all have issues, First thought that just popped into my head. I wish I had a more beautiful transition. Speaking of we're all kind of fucked up. I made a TikTok and I swear to fucking God, I am shadow banned. And I just said fucking, my ADHD brain, boop, new tab open. Someone left a comment that's what do you think I once read? I don't know if they sound like this. Maybe it was a man. I once read that a feeble mind is someone who curses a lot. People who curse a lot have a feeble mind. Feeble means is weak-minded. And while, I can share room for that perspective, and we could point to many cases in which that correlates, or we can, group some people together and go, oh, and all these people curse more frequently than these people. But also, I replied to that and said, I once read studies that correlate high intelligence and profanity. So my opinion, since you asked my opinion, it's on Spotify, the comment, is that neither are a definitive indicator of such, okay? Meaning not all people who curse a lot are weak-minded and not all people who are highly intelligent curse a lot. So, Pooky and Jet, that's what I wanted. I made a TikTok about Pooky and Jet because I've seen that, pardon me, that topic is trending for some of you FYPs. And because a lot of relationship-ish is on my For You page, I see Pooky and Jet, who I've talked about on this podcast multiple times, one time judging the shit out of them, another time being like, how dare I, this couple that's been married for, I don't know, I'm gonna guess, they've been together. I'm gonna guess they've been together in total 10 to 12 years. 8 to 10. Okay, I don't know. 6 to 9, somewhere in that rate, at least 6 years together, at least, I don't know, shut the fuck up, Chart. And if you've seen their bit, or just go look it up, if you've never seen it, you're going to throw up, or you're going to roll your eyes, or you're going to go, thank you for wasting 3 minutes of my life. If you're a girl, just go look it up. You won't say I wasted your life. You'll understand what I'm talking about. But if you're a girl, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. And guys, if you have a wife who's on TikTok, she's probably mentioned to you these people. And if that's not on her For You page, she is so cool. She is cooler than me. She is cooler than all of us here. Okay. So it's this couple, and he's really smart and he's really educated. And like and I guess he does well. I don't know anything about this person. He's the guy that I think buys up the little guy in the dentist world, and like, yeah, he makes a lot of money. He makes a lot of money, and I think it comes from money. And he's married to a girl who's all like, maybe she doesn't have his education, but she, clearly was raised in a probably at the least upper middle class family and educated. They, definitely live a certain lifestyle, and they're young, and they live, the lifestyle you see on like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Like they do very well. And then she's blown up on social media, and the whole premise of like her virality, I don't even know if that made sense, is her man's doting behavior on her. So Pooky is looking fire tonight. Pooky is looking quintessential. You're just gorgeous, babe. And that's how it kicked off, this doting husband. And why did that probably kick off? Because women eat that shit up. And we grew up, a lot of the millennials, we grew up watching Disney movies, okay? Or movies that we thought was showing us what love is, when in reality, it was a fairy tale, like it was a fairy tale. And so this was the bar. And then when we fall in love, we're like, wait a second. And we get done fucked up and beat up. And some of us more than once. And we realize that was all bullshit. And where am I going this? Oh yeah, Pooky and Jet. And I see that people are like, it's coming out that like something isn't right about them. And I saw them in public and like, it is all an act and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's cool how it gets people talking, because I'm sure as hell that they drown that noise out, and they're just like, whether you're talking bad, whether you're talking good, we're trending for this reason or that reason, we're making money. Because if you bring any energy over there and it brings eyeballs, it all translates to money. So it really doesn't matter the reasoning. I know for some people that can just like destroy their mental health. But I think it's all about like what people allow. And then I think when you're on a certain level of fame, I think you have a bunch of people surrounding you that help you drown all that out. And you're playing the game, and you're on that side of the fence. So, I'm winded. It's because this fucking top, it's this bodysuit that sucked my ass in. That's why my boobs look huge right now. Because if I wasn't wearing a bra with this, my boobs would still look really good. But the fact that I'm wearing a bra and this bodysuit, woo, cowabunga. Hey, Romeo. Take a breath, Jordan. Take a breath. I wore a corset the other night that I literally was like, I got to come back and I'm going to pass the fuck out. I'm not going to be able to eat dinner. I'm going to swallow something and pop. My response to this, it's fake. Of course it's fucking fake. So these people, of course they have to act. I can't imagine. I'm sure there's people listening where a husband and a wife work together in some capacity. And I've seen it IRL, and some of them, they rock it. Or like, I don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Nobody knows what goes on behind closed doors unless you tell somebody. And no one knows to the extent unless you're living behind closed doors, or they have like, CCTV going on in there that we can all watch. But I can only imagine that it presents new hurdles. And I know we all have hurdles, but when you work together, live together, have raised children together, damn, because I'm just taking out, I guess there's pros and cons. Like the pros being like you're really imagining, what's going on in the ins and the outs. But the other part is like that could be suffocating. I could see an element of some women being like, well, your man's going out there and spending his 40 to 60 hours a week on other women. Like I'm right there in it, and we're power couple partners and we love it. Awesome. I totally believe that there are people that love it, prefer it, wouldn't want it any other way. But I bet there's some people that are like, fuck this shit. And then I bet there's some people who were open-minded to it and were like, if we do this, we're going to get divorced. I bet some people have gone divorced. I bet all the stories, right? If it can happen, someone has experienced it in that way. So I'm sure Pooky and Jet, Pooky wants to punch the fuck out of Jet sometimes, which, by the way, that video got like 500 views. You can't tell me that's not even a 1% of my following. Is it on my, like, it's just fucked up. It's fucked up. It's like you do it their way, or if there's certain words, or if, I don't know. I don't know how it works. Fingers crossed that goes away one day. But we have to quit romanticizing couples we see on the internet that look like they're so in love and he adores her and look what he does for her. And he's walking in with cookies and a Chanel bag on a platter and serving her bread. Oh, babe, I love you so much. And he's reading love notes to her. Quit looking at your man, mad at him, going, why are you not walking in the fucking front door with a Ross bag and a Celsius? And I get it. We like romance. I talk about that all the time. I want to encourage the men, like, do this for your girl so you can possibly get laid more. I'm trying to help everybody out. But as a woman, and I want to feel loved, like, yeah, yes, I freaking do. But it's unfair to romanticize something that isn't real. And it makes me want to throw up. And it's actually harmful when you see interviews. I did see an interview with Pooky Campbell Puckett, who was like, people think like this is like for the camera, like this is real. And it's like, how damaging. You know what would have been better? Even if your husband is super romantic, super doting, super like up your fucking ass, don't tell me that you are dreaming about getting your ass slapped, pushed up against a wall, and told what the fuck is up. Instead of someone being in your ass 24/7, if that is the case. Number two, it would have been more helpful if he was this doting husband. I didn't need to say the number one. It would have been way more beneficial to all the people who follow you would be like, don't forget, this is what married couples go through, and we are not aliens. If you're aliens, tell us. Whew. If you're autistic and if you love differently, tell us so we can stop feeling like freaks of fucking nature. And did that sound fucked up? I was just thinking love on the spectrum and like how innocent and pure and like it's just a totally different perspective that like we should all be jealous of, honestly, because we're fucked up and jaded and cynical. So that was like not some like, okay, I think my people are here, so I don't have to worry. But that would have been more beneficial to be like, guess what? There is not a chance in fucking hell that we haven't had times where we're annoyed as shit of one another, that having to constantly record everything and curate it and live according to our brand hasn't taken a toll on our intimacy. There's no way that I don't believe it. I don't believe it for one fucking second. That's impossible. And then that just perpetuates this standard that just isn't real. Oh, speaking of that, we're not even going to get to all my notes of like all the topics that I have to riff on that are like, I feel like we would love. But that just means more good episodes are coming. But I got to tell you about this. I just watched a video, like Bunny Hedaya on her TikTok, that she was like, I went to this like influencer thing and all these girls have this certain camera and they use these certain apps. And like, we're not aware that people that make YouTube videos, yes, we live in a society where there's filters right at your fingertips. And once, especially as a woman, guys want to not get it, but as a girl, you see yourself that way and that feels better. And that may sound pathetic and stupid, but it's like cocaine, false confidence. So it's done something very damaging, but I don't judge because it's so easy. But what I what is super harmful, and I've never, ever, ever done this. I have never, ever, ever edited my body. I've never used Facetune ever, ever, ever. I've used filters a gazillion, quadrillion times, and that's very obvious. There would be no hiding that. But you know what? Where I can't have a filter, I can, but I don't even know how to access that. If I wanted to, it'd take me a quick YouTube video. But people are recording themselves, YouTube videos that I thought was like, there's no hiding. Like, that is who you are. This is what you look like. Like, this is what you look like. And that's not true. You can record yourself and be edited. Not only have a filter on your face, but edit your body. Change the way your arm size, your waist size, your head size, your jaw size, your nose size, your everything. And like, what is real anymore? And we're beating ourselves up. And I know a lot of men listen to this podcast, so you're like, talk to your men. Don't forget about your men. But also, a lot of y'all are looking at these women. So if you've ever felt like social media has made you think your wife is less beautiful, and you just don't want to say that out loud because that sounds really fucking bad, because it is bad, just remember it's all bullshit. And I think a lot of guys know it's all bullshit. Like, I would love to hear the catfish stories. I know this is like a married long-term relationship podcast, but if it was a dating one, I bet you I'd have all the catfish stories because they are real. I only used apps for like a very short period in between the boyfriend I had before I met my husband and the first date that I went on, meet at a bar that I could walk to. Ugh. I wasn't looking for a boyfriend. I was looking to I was lonely, free food. And he looked nothing like his fucking picture. Maybe like right here, but that's barely. And he had hair to like here, like you had a short haircut. No, I mean, I know it's just hair, but updated picture? The fuck? If I went and uploaded a picture of me when I was 25, and which I think I'm cuter now, by the way. I may not have the same skin elasticity, but I've definitely glowed up, I think, and I have a long way to go. If you ever see me glow up, it was plastic surgery and dental work, and I paid for it, and I didn't. I don't think you can give yourself new teeth on a filter. I bet you can. I bet you can. That's the next thing I really want. Why did I get braces as a kid? My parents didn't get me a permanent retainer. Like, what fucks? They screwed me over. But I would not, there is no hiding that if I still had a YouTube channel, but I would be the first. I'd want to share every single detail of it when I get plastic surgery, because I will be battling the aging process. I'm going down with a fight. Facelift me. I want one. I want it all. Chop me up and screw me up. I don't want to be Catwoman or anything. And all the guys that are like, oh, there's so many women that y'all think are so fucking hot. Who is so fucking hot that has had all the stuff done? She's so fucking hot. Not Victoria Beckham. She's so hot too. I have to think of her name. Kate Beckinsale. Kate Beckinsale is so fucking hot. And that's the kind of work you want done, girls? Just like I was talking about how social media is so damaging, and I'm over here, I'm like, get plastic surgery. Go and get it, care credit, and just pay that bitch off in a year and just get it. Get the surgery. Do it for you, boo. You only live once. If you want a new vagina, who's stopping you? And if it's your husband, I have a big problem with that. I know. I would love to hear why some men are against their wives getting plastic surgery. And I bet it's some of y'all, and that's okay. That's okay. Why is it icky when men get it though? Because we're you're being a fucking girl. Let us have the vagina, asshole. Horrible double standard. Horrible. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all, when I went to Vegas, I had a confrontation with a stranger. It's been a couple years, so probably an underwhelming story, but I was proud of myself because she walked away calling me a bitch. And I didn't, I just let it be, but I did call her. I said, you're really giving Karen energy. And I stood my ground. She tried to steal my seat in the pool. If you've ever been to the Cosmo, there's these like lounge chairs that are in the water in one of the pools in the Boulevard Tower. And I went up and got a drink with my husband and I put a towel on my seat. There's two towels, my sunscreen, my fucking sunscreen's there, my belongings. And these two drunk bitches that were like 50 years old were sitting, not that there's anything wrong with that, but the behavior after her friend was cool. Her friend was cool. She even was like, she mouthed sorry. So yeah, she was cool. The other one was, I was like, hey, these are our chairs. This is our stuff. And her friend goes, oh, I'm sorry, and gets up. And so I immediately sit down because I could feel that bitch's energy. That she was like, well, that's not how it works. Well, that's not how it works. These are free game. I go, so no one's allowed to get up and go get a drink and come, or it's like birds attacking. Look behind. And before I was about to like say, look behind you. There's some chairs available. Buzz off, bitch. She's like, no, I'm going to say right here. I'm going to sit with you. I'm going to sit with you. And Derek's walking up, like seeing like, and like people are watching. And I'm like, you know what? You're really giving Karen energy at the pool. Look, everyone's just trying to have a fun, good time, relax in the sun. And you just want to pick a fight. Why don't you go find another chair right behind you? There are multiple chairs open that don't have towels. And her friend is like looking at her like, please, you're fucking embarrassing me. She's like, okay, we'll go. But you have to be a little bitch about it. Oh. And mum's the word. Mum's the word, because she was clearly really drunk and I didn't want to say anything to make her hyphy or like, I didn't know what she was going to do. I didn't want to splash her in the face because maybe she would have I wasn't trying to ruin my afternoon, my Vegas trip. I didn't want any negative attention. So I let her go. And that was that. But I try to sound like I'm such a badass. I would never fight a person, by the way. Verbally, of course, but people like, I would hope not. You are a grown woman who's a mother. That's trashy. But even when I was like a little 15, 16, 17, and I thought I could sound so hard and talk shit, like abso-fucking-lutely not. I would have been annihilated every single time. I don't have it in me. I don't know how. I guess go for the hair and pull them backwards. Because if someone pulled my hair, you're going where they're pulling you. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't think I'll ever have to know. I don't plan on being in the UFC. I don't plan on, participating in those sorts of activities. God willing. So yeah, it was more fun experiencing it than retelling it. But being an adult, and that feeling, I know everyone knows that feeling where someone really makes you angry and you feel your blood pressure rising and you can feel like you want to go there with me. And almost like some of us who have tempers, like you're like, it's awakening. It's triggering me. I'm feeling triggered. And when I feel silenced, so I didn't feel like really triggered there, which is why I was just chilling like a villain and standing up for myself. But if I feel triggered, it's like always when I don't feel seen or heard or like misunderstood after I feel like I've articulated myself well and then I'm still, it's like, I get really, really angry. Can you relate? If you are over the age of 30, my opinion is that you should have done the work or are doing the work to know what your triggers are. You should be aware of like these kind of situations where maybe I don't feel in total control, or what else? It plays on my biggest fears, limiting beliefs I have about myself, a sense of inadequacy is brought. You should know what really gets you fucking going. And if you're watching on YouTube, when I go to therapy, like this is called flipping your lid. So whenever you see me do that, isn't that the help signal? Isn't this the like I'm being trafficked signal, I think? Oops. I'm not. But yeah, in therapy, that's flipping your lid. And in sign language, this is a B for bitch. Okay. Do we want to get into listener questions? you're like, please shut the fuck up. We would like to hear what's going on in people's sex lives. And we don't care what you have to say anymore. I love you long time. And this is why I'm not friends with people, or like I can't be best friends with people that, here she goes again, that don't partake. I can be. I am friends. But you know when you meet someone and you know that they probably partake too, but you don't want to ask because you're like, do you smoke pot? Because what parts? So like that has to like that's hard to find out because what's I'm not in that setting often. I'm doing like kids sports, school activities, like, you know what I mean? Do you smoke pot? You know what I mean? That's not going to come up. But there's that rare time being an adult, meeting new friends. Rare. And maybe you have a girl lunch. And I'm like, you too? It's noon, your kids are at school, you're eating a burger together, having a beer. And they're like, yeah. And you're like, I knew it. I knew I liked you. I knew I liked you. Those people watch better television shows. Those people like better music. Those people have a better sense of humor. Just better people, in my opinion. If you don't smoke pot, I am stereotyping, and that is not necessarily true. Okay, we're moving on. Love you long time. Leave me a 5-star review. God knows that I need it. While I still am holding a 4.6 rating on Apple Podcast, it was a 4.7, and I got 2 pretty fucking rude 1-star reviews. One, a cunt who really didn't need to say any. Her voice is so annoying. Well, you know what? I make like $1,200 a month just from reading a dirty fucking story once a week. So, and you know what they say? That they love my voice. So there was that person. Hate you. And then there was another they hate my voice. I'm annoying. Not worth the listen. So thank you for wasting more of your time by going and writing a review on my podcast page about it. You fucking loser. No, I wouldn't be surprised if you're listening still. Okay? And then the other person, what did they say? If you fast forwarded and got out of here, that's fine. That's fine and dandy. The other little gabbers, the other little chatty bitches are still here. And the ones that aren't. They've moved. Oh, y'all are so nice. Y'all have already done it. Long Blue Chew commercial. She talks about nut pills every 30 seconds. That isn't fucking true. And guess what? Just like I just said, there's a fast forward button. So unless you're really stupid or just sipping on that haterade, I don't get it. And I'm the kind of girl that like, we have them at certain parts that are predictable. I'm not mid-word and blah, an ad comes. But you know what? That's what they would prefer me to do because what their agenda is to sell shit. And I'm very selective and very on brand. And you can use your brain. And all my lovely listeners are like, you don't need to defend yourself. And do it. It's okay. It's fun chatting about it. I get a little kick out of it. I get a little zhuzh. And then I beg you for 5-star reviews. And y'all feel bad for me. And so you do it. So, okay, love you. Let's do this. Okay, mommies and daddies, I want to talk about being your hottest self. And I don't mean just on the outside. I mean, I do mean on the outside, but also inside, feeling good. Like you want to feel good. I don't want to just look good. And I do think looking good goes hand in hand with feeling good. But also you can like look okay on the outside and feel like shit. And like feel like shit on the inside. And I hate saying this, but this is like my demographic. 35 to 45 is my largest audience. You know, we're not getting any younger, but thank God it's 2025 and we have access to all these fabulous resources where now it's like it used to be anti-aging. Now it's age reversal. So this brings me to today's sponsor, which I have had the opportunity to learn so much more about, and I'm so freaking impressed and can't wait to share. LifeRx.md. They are the largest GLP-1 and peptide company in the US. And why I find it so interesting is it's not just, Oh, you want a GLP-1? Oh, you want a peptide? Maybe you don't even know anything about peptides and you want to learn. That's the place that you are going to get a licensed provider. So you will have to go get labs done. Like, this isn't just bing, bang, boom, which I know we love bing, bang, boom, but don't we want something that works? You're going to talk to a doctor. You're going to get your labs done in 3 months. You're going to find out what's going on with your body, find out what works and how to sustain it. With GLP-1s, losing the weight, keeping the weight off. Like, what's the plan here? You know, we need a plan. What about the people that are like, okay, maybe I'm not a candidate for a GLP-1, but maybe I've got that 3 to 5 stubborn LBs that I can't freaking lose. A peptide could be fabulous for you. So you got to find out. You got to ask questions and you got to find out. And LifeRx.md wants to be your haven, your place to go to for answers. Super custom. It's going to be formulated in custom. They're not just grabbing off the shelf and giving you. They are formulating what you need for your body. And so I'm very impressed. You can click the QR code here, or you can click the link in the episode description and go check that out. LifeRx.md, and you're going to want to use promo code HOUSEWIFE to save you some money. That'll be $50 off your first month. So LifeRx.md, and that's promo code HOUSEWIFE to start your journey to a healthier you with support that actually works. Go check it out. If you previously straddled the fence about the Blue Chew, am I going to partake? Which, if you don't know what it is, where have you been? It's an online prescription service, same active ingredients that are in Viagra or Cialis, Levitra, but in chewable form. So if you've been on the fence, I'm giving you every reason why you should give it a try. You could be missing out on the best sex of your life. You can try Blue Chew free for 1 month using my code HOUSEWIFE at checkout at bluechew.com. Click the link in my episode notes, or that's bluechew.com, promo code HOUSEWIFE. Again, why not? It's all done online. It's super easy, user-friendly. Talk to a U.S. licensed-based physician, and then it arrives at your door in discreet packaging within a few days. So we like options. We like that it's chewable. You don't even need a drink. You can just chew it up. The Vardenafil is mint flavored. So fresh breath, hard dick, chef's kiss. That's bluechew.com, code HOUSEWIFE, and you'll get to try it 1 month for free. Go check it out. It's time for listener questions. So it might not be a ton of questions. We have different questions about porn in different ways. So there's that. So we're going to really cover a lot of angles of porn, which we have before in the past and can be a little bit daunting, but I will really try to land the plane and move on. But we're going to start off with question number 1, not porn related. I have been cheated on, and after I started fantasizing about my wife with other men, after I feel a lot of negative feelings. If it happens during sex many times, my brain will switch from aroused to feeling shame, feeling inadequate, etc. So much that I can't keep an erection. I thought it was just me until I heard you talk about those fantasies. And then I started looking it up and found that a lot of people have this issue. So now I'm trying to figure out what the brain's doing and how to heal from it. So as far as a trigger or this feeling that comes when you think of this negative thought, as far as if it's distressing or not, EMDR is great for those kinds of things. But I don't know if this is distressing. You're saying you find it arousing, which I talked about before. And I think a lot of men and women, I can't help but wonder. I saw a comedian on TikTok, and she's like, the poly people are so fucking weird. They're like, she's like, I just think that they've been cheated on so many times that they just like it now. They're like, yeah, I like this. You can't hurt me anymore. I like this. And so she said lots of other funny things too, but I'm not going to like just try to do the whole bit here. But I wish I knew her name. It is interesting, and I don't have the credentials to give you the breakdown. Like if I went on Google and asked what you asked, ChatGPT for fuck's sake, I think you would get lots of probably articles that share the psychological side and why that might be. Hell, let's do it together. But before I type that in, I don't think you should torture yourself I think I commend you for wanting to understand yourself more. And I don't say stop your journey of the understanding. When you said the healing part, it's like, that's what it's about. If you feel like there's just this healing that needs to take place, because it's not just, okay, something arouses me, but it's not impacting me negatively, where you're sharing that you feel a lot of negative feelings. That I want to know if it has something to do with shame. Like, are you feeling guilty for feeling aroused by this thought? Or are you feeling insecure, bad about yourself, fearful, etc.? So identifying the negative feelings, and are they fear-based feelings or are they shame? Because that matters. And then it's trickling over. You're having now a physical symptom where, feeling shame, feeling inadequate. So much that you can't keep an erection. So, Jordan, everyone's like, did you listen to the question, Jordan? It's shame. It's shame. But that inadequate part, I think there is fear tied in there, because am I not enough? Am I not enough? Will I not ever be enough? And when I did the poly thing, she didn't get to her point, Jordan. I wonder if everyone who says they're a little cucky, like have a little cucky king, a cucky queen, a cuck cold, I bet you they've been cheated on so many times to the point where it's like they're aroused by it. And I don't know that specific answer. And I don't think we need to sit and hate ourselves and think we're freaks of nature, because we don't have to progress. We don't have to go, that turns me on, so like I really need to go explore this and further this and feed this momentarily desire, or this arouses me. So like, are you going to let it gain momentum and now I want a third person? Are you going to hyperfixate and long? It doesn't sound like that's the case for you. It sounds like you're having this like spiritual war, this internal battle of like, this is wrong that I'm aroused for this. Like, I'm ashamed that like I want to hear about some guy fucking her. And then I feel inadequate because I feel like I can't give that to her. But a part of you is like, why does that turn me on? And then you're getting in your head to the point where the blood flow is going to the wrong fucking head. So it sounds like you've just done fucked yourself. So I would think, and I'm not trying to sound like a bitch, so don't take it personally, but I think you should go to a therapist. And that's not like, you're crazy, you should go to a therapist. I just think it could be a way to work it out with someone. Or like, if you're asking me, I have no more context to go off of. Like, I got this little bitty blurb and I can go with you for just a little bit. But if you have someone who can ask some more questions and you can hopefully feel safe enough to share, because it's their job, get a guy, get a girl, whichever you think would make you feel better, and work through this circumstance and then bounce. And then bounce. If you're like, I don't want to pay for it, find one that your insurance covers, or, I don't know. Ask ChatGPT to talk it through. Yeah. Literally. ChatGPT replacing therapy everywhere. No. Sometimes we need a human. We need a human that can relate and we can feel seen by. But I won't lie, ChatGPT is awfully nice for like logical answers and to bring in information. And for a lot of us, which sounds like you want more information as to why. And I really relate to wanting to better understand the how and why this impacts people and like on a brain level and what I can do about it versus get all fucked up in my feelings. For sure, for sure. But just having a little moment of acceptance and reminding yourself, nothing is wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you. Say that right now. There is nothing wrong with me. Absolutely nothing. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. And we have bad behavior. Like what? There's really bad people. There are people that have bad behavior. I sound like a gentle parent right now. But I do believe that everybody who sets out to go do something can make strides, is what I'm saying. My little cliche optimism. Who the fuck am I? Hold. Why do we get turned on by our partners cheating after being cheated on, even though we don't want to be cheated on? Are you ready? I did the searching for you. It's a complex and often misunderstood phenomenon. But here's a breakdown, thanks AI, of why someone might experience a sexual arousal or attraction towards their partner's cheating, even if they would be hurt and reject this cheating behavior in reality. For some people, compersion, or the enjoyment of their partner's pleasure with someone else, is a form of sexual arousal. See? You're not a freak in nature. And all this little certain types of men that make fun of cucks, we don't do that around here, okay? To each their own. The thrill of the forbidden. Duh. Waking up old desires, reigniting lust. The cheating incident can reignite the initial attraction that might have faded in the relationship. Feeling like a prize. The knowledge that someone else is interested in your partner can make them feel more desirable and increase their self-esteem. The psychological and emotional factors, jealousy and insecurity. The act of cheating can trigger intense jealousy and insecurity, which sometimes leads to a heightened sense of sexual tension and arousal. I think that's mine. Cool. Rebellion and defiance. The cheating can be seen as a rebellious act against the established norms of the relationship, which can be exciting for some individuals. And then the cognitive dissonance element, the contradictory feelings. The individual might experience a mix of anger, sadness, and attraction, which can lead to a confusing and even exciting emotional state. And then lastly, understanding the other side, seeking a deeper connection. Some individuals might be curious about the dynamics and what drives their partner's behavior, exploring different boundaries. The infidelity can lead to discussion about boundaries and what the other person is comfortable and isn't comfortable. Okay, so a whole lot of nothing there at the end. But I think it's kind of one of those things, hey, you may never have a full understanding of why you feel this way. But if you stay in your head, you are not doing anything that serves you or your dick. So you better fucking get out of your head. Hope that didn't make you feel worse. If anything, I want you to just feel like worthy and okay about it. And maybe there's some unresolved conversations that you might want to have with your partner, and maybe you don't. Maybe you want to incorporate it and you be dirty storytelling. Is she into that? Does she like it? Is she weirded out by it? Is she judging you for it? What does she say about it? All those kind of things. But nothing's wrong with your dick. It's your thought process. So if your last question to all of that was, well, how do I get in my head? Then you got to practice mindfulness and being present. So keep listening to all the episodes. I don't know where you're at, but mindfulness and getting present techniques. Again, the internet's a big, beautiful place. Be resourceful, beducated, great. That's how you're going to practice being present, and it's going to save your ass and your erection. And the more you practice mindfulness and being present, the better at it you'll get. And it's a skill you can develop so you're not dependent on other aids, which I'm all for, like a resource like Blue Chew to be that bridge while you're working on the mindfulness stuff. If you're catching my drift. Okay. Moving on. I got a Via Hemp testimonial that was just heart-touching. She said she had her first penetrative orgasm after taking a High Love gummy. So when I first tried the High Love strain by Via Hemp, which they have so many different products, whether you want a product with THC in it, they also have THC-free products. They have so much: flower, tincture, vapes, topicals, and gummies, my favorite. And a gummy for everything, might I add. The High Love gummies. These are the ones for my people. This is very on brand, very fitting. You're going to want to try it. I promise. Cross your heart. Cross my heart. Cross my heart. The feedback I've gotten, always great, especially from the women going, wowzers. I know for me and my husband, we both enjoyed, but to me, it was something to write home about. I did a double take. I was like, that was great. And I noticed, I felt like I had a heartbeat down there the entire time. And I just wondered, like, hormones, whatever, but I had eaten a High Love gummy. So I was like, you can't judge something based off just one try. So, I was doing my research, my research, 8, I think like 1.5. And same thing. I'm like, it gives the puss a heartbeat. It increases the blood flow. That's what that's doing. It's increasing the blood flow down there. So really awesome. Basically the Libido gummy of all Libido gummies. It's pleasure enhancing cannabinoids and a little aphrodisiac herbal blend, and then a mild medium dose of THC. Just makes the perfect gummy. And this was supposed to be a Valentine's Day product, and it became such a hit. It was so requested, it was so loved, that they made it a staple. So go to viahemp.com and you can use my promo code housewife to get 15% off your purchase. Got to be 21 or up, obviously, and they ship. If you don't live in a legal state, that poses no problem. I believe they ship to 48 states, legal nationwide for the most part. So go check it out, Viahemp, VIIAHEMP.com, or just click the link in the episode notes and use promo code housewife to save you some. Context: I'm a 42-year-old male, married to my 41 female gorgeous wife, been together since we were late teens, and I've never been more in love, and our desire for one another is stronger than ever. In short, relationship is 10 out of 10. I know you are a skeptic on young love, but let me tell you, when you do it right, it's the blessing of all blessings. I believe you. We can have a follow-up on that another time. So to my question, our sex life is hotter than it's ever been, and recently we have really enjoyed going to the strip club together. This has led us to want to have a threesome with another woman. My wife likes me to take the lead, so I need to arrange. I have a good idea of her type and how the night will go. Early, light dinner, and fun night out, fancy hotel suite, etc., etc. But I'm not sure how to find the third. We are not internet people, so app is out of the question. Why, though? Like, I get you're not internet people. You don't have to become internet people. You don't have to be a genius or internet savvy to... If you were able to write this question in, I feel like you'd be able to work an app very user-friendly. And I think there will be other people like you that are not internet people or social media people that you'll come in contact with on these apps. And you'll be able to be more selective. And there are apps for exactly what you're talking about. You could literally type in like app stuff. I think Paired. Is it Paired? I swear they sponsored my show a long time ago. There are apps. Google them. And you'll find. You'll find. And I think they're really big on like the health aspect that you're about to get to. We are not internet people. Okay. So it brings me to either asking a stripper or hiring an escort. Okay, like I get that, because but the internet part, lame excuse. I think it's like getting a real person on an app sounds so much scarier than getting a stripper or an escort, because it feels more transactional with a stripper and an escort, which almost like changes the dynamic versus like inviting a like, I almost said a real person. That's so fucked up. Yeah, because that's so not true. But it's inviting a person where it's not transactional. It is transactional the other way because you're paying them money. Like, don't tell me the stripper's not going to do the same shit as the escort. Okay, maybe not. Maybe if you go to a strip club and give her lots of money and then she decides she'll come home with you, but there was some money spent or an escort. So you could probably save money doing the escort way. Because at least you know the fee. Stripper, you might spend way more than you were planning on. So, yeah, as a woman, like if I was a woman who wanted to do that, which I don't, I would want to get someone who like was a sex worker because it would feel more like a novelty, if that makes sense, versus like so personal. But yeah, I'm just, what is that? Hypothetically speaking. Any thoughts on how to go about this? Also, health and safety is super important. So should I have no shame asking the third to get tested? Obviously, I will take care of the cost. Yes. No, if anyone was put off by you asking them, like, to make sure, like, for them to get tested and not just taking their word for it, and they were upset about that and you were willing to cover the cost, you don't want them anyways. That's weird. Then that means they don't value the same thing that you value. And I get you're not looking for like someone compatible to date, but they can have my eyes twitching so bad. Can you see it? It's twitching so bad. I can feel it. To value health and safety and like human life and not giving someone an STI, an STD. So, K. So not weird. I mean, Craigslist, I don't know if that's still a thing anymore. I'm not sure. The apps are cool because it's like you'll get to find a person and it'd be free, bro. It'd be free. But if that's too, you could find someone who lived far away on the app and then maybe you'll find an escort on the app. I have no clue. Google could be your best friend. Reddit, a Reddit forum about this topic could be extremely helpful because you will talk to other people who have already done it, and they can share with you their experience, what they did, what they learned from it, what they would do different, where they would go next. They could have a referral or recommendation. I swear, you can even get so like local with your Reddit conversations and needs and desires and questions. So yeah, I'm suggesting Reddit. I need to buy stock in Reddit. I think they like recently went public. Like not super recent, but like kind of recent. So my thoughts on how to go about this were that don't be afraid to ask them to be clean. I vote save the money unless you like know of I mean, I don't know how you're going to proposition yourself to the stripper or the escort, but guess what? You won't be weird. It won't be their first time, okay? So I say just go for it. But make sure that your wife, I'm just speaking from a woman, I don't know her, I don't know her personality. She's obviously wants you to take the lead like you said, so maybe she doesn't care. But even though you're taking the lead, showing consideration throughout that whole process. Like don't actually make the selection without showing her what you've come up with and you know, you have an evening planned, blah, blah, blah. But I would definitely make sure, unless she is saying, surprise me, I don't want to know shit, get clarity on that is my advice for that. Because I don't think it could go bad getting clarity. I think there's a chance it could ruffle some feathers or go bad if you don't. But there's no way you're going to get fucked up over clarifying if she wants any sort of opinion or say in this. But good luck. Good lucky poo. Okay, start over from like when Okay, moving onward. Now we're getting into where we will discuss porn at length because the last two questions are porn related and there's such different ends of the spectrum because in one, I feel like I'm essentially trying to make light of it in some way. And in the other, I am helping someone overcome the grips of addiction as best as I fucking can. But I have an opinion, which is why I selected this question. So, do you hear Romeo snoring back there? Do y'all hear the Romeo snoring? Okay. Guys, let's be honest. If you could have a bigger one, a harder one, you'd take it, right? Like you wouldn't be like, nee. So that's the case. Why aren't you using Bathmate yet? Today's episode is sponsored by Bathmate, the #1 hydro-powered penis pump that actually delivers results. This is not a gimmick. It's science-backed, proven, and used by guys worldwide who want better performance and a partner who can't get enough. More size, more girth, more confidence. The 3 trifecta. We love confidence. So harder, stronger performance every single time, better long-lasting erection. So this is meant to be used ideally in the shower every day, 2 or 3 minutes, make it part of your routine, wash my hair, wash my body, pee-pee pump. And while you get the instant gratification results, the aesthetics, you get the long-lasting, I'm showing up harder, bigger, better erections, better sex every time after 2 weeks of consistent use. So head on over to bathmatedirect.com/hornyhousewife. That'll automatically apply the discount. You'll get 10% off your purchase. So click the link in the episode description below or go to bathmatedirect.com/hornyhousewife. Here, wow. Okay. Hi, Jordan. Thank you for all you do. I know this topic has been brought up before, but why is porn okay for men to watch? Married men specifically. People like, did she just have an epileptic seizure? I've been researching the topic because I'm wondering if my husband has a problem, and I'm finding it is something men just do. They are visual creatures. It doesn't mean they don't love you. It's not about the wife or partner. Was this, when it was in quotes, is that something I said? Okay. Oh, I can't wait because, even like I've been doing this 5 years and there are 100%, if someone pulled everything I've said from the beginning to now, I might disagree with myself. But if any opinion ever evolves, like you'll hear that on here. Okay, but I still find it hurtful. And that means I have low self-esteem? ? No, guess what? I wouldn't be excited about my husband watching porn either. But guess what? Mum's the word. I'm never going to say ever he can't watch porn. Does that make sense? Okay, we'll get there. Because I don't like my husband Googling women or worse, chatting with them online. Yeah, that's fucked up. Chatting with them online. I know there's a lot of porn and a lot of like ways to participate in porn. And if you listen to the episode and it's clear in the title, like porn, the good, bad, the ugly, you will hear why I think it is a negative thing for men. Truly a negative thing. My husband claims he does not watch porn and I'm a cynical bitch. So I am always like, but I tell myself I don't care. But maybe because he grew up really religious and his answer is like so perfect and so sweet. So let's not make fun of my husband and make fun of me for just eating it up with a fucking spoon. But he always says, and like I probably watch porn more than him. Like probably. He says that that's bad for your brain and neurologically, like it is bad for your brain. And he may not say it in the way the words I'm saying it right now, but essentially it's exactly what I said. It rewires your brain. It desensitizes you and it takes away from our sex life. So it's one thing like watching it together, but he's like, if I'm watching porn all the time and masturbating all the time, like it's not gonna do anything good for our sex life. So that's why I don't. He's like, my husband works a lot and he is an extremely involved father and I make his ass date me. That's like a requirement to be married to me is I wanna be dated. And so he's got a lot on his to-do list. And so for some reason, I believe him. And because I've been a crazy bitch and went through all of it, like, you know, his work computer and here just to see if like maybe he was storytelling. And I've never found any. So, you know, cool. Cool. But also, never have I ever dated a man and told him that he can't watch porn, because I've always thought my whole life, sadly, that all men did watch porn and all would. And I bet you, and I think the majority do watch porn. And maybe my husband is just spoon feeding me this little answer and he watches porn and I'm unaware. And like, I'm not like, if our sex life, if I was worried and concerned, it's like, then, you know, I would be maybe feeling differently, but I don't have that indicator, you know what I'm saying? So if you're seeing like our sex life is suffering and it happens to be correlated to porn use, we got a problem. And I want to validate you. But hold on. I think we need to finish the question, dumb bitch. I'm calling myself a dumb bitch, which I do believe he has done. So she believes he has been chatting with women online. Do we leave it and resolve that it has nothing to do with us and it's a happy outlet for them? No. Chatting with women. That's why it's such a slippery slope. It goes from watching people fucking to now not fucking, just women fucking themselves or some POV shit, so it can be like you simulating sex, the man. You are hurting your brain. You are hurting your sex life at home. It is going to become, especially if you have a certain personality, it's a slippery slope of my next question, which is how to conquer porn addiction. So it can get you to where you're typing in asking me that question. And you may be wondering, the listener wrote this, does my husband have a problem with it? Obviously, because you're already, because we'll get there. So if watching porn is an outlet, that's unhealthy. Does that make sense? It's all about how we do something. Be happy nothing is going on in real life. Some women will say that, yeah. But that's like watching but talking, so very different. I tried talking to him about it and he's a closed book. So now I'm shaming him. Help me understand this. I've had it. No, you're not shaming him by wanting to talk about something. Thank you for your input. It's such a delicate topic and I do not feel comfortable asking friends. Totally understand. Would they look at my husband differently, like a perv? Probably not. Probably like a dude. He's a good man, husband, and father. I believe you, but like, it's not would he be okay with you chatting to dudes? It's like saying like having an OnlyFans subscription is the same as watching porn. No, it's not. We have been married a long time and I have a great sex life. Do I just deal? Oh, you have a great sex life. Ooh, this one is tricky. This one's very tricky and I feel like I have to tread lightly because I want to validate you, because I can understand the sense of betrayal. He married me, he's committed to me, so he can just, whenever he wants, go look at other girls naked. And we live in a society that, and I've attributed to this, that it's like, yeah, that's just how men are visual creatures. And like, it's essentially, they like to lust. And that's how they get off. And I think, at least I was conditioned in a sense by what? Social norms, what you're told, what you see, what you experience of like, I have to accept this. Like that's quotes normal. And I guess I'll either have my feelings hurt if I make that known to myself, or I'm going to sneeze, I'm not going to sneeze. I've been sneezing so much lately. Don't do it. It feels so good when you sneeze, though. It feels so good to sneeze when you sneeze. It's 1/16 of an orgasm. Is that true? I don't know. But if you sneeze 16 times in a row, does that mean you have an orgasm? If it is true, I kind of believe that because it feels really good, but like this little slight way. What if you had a bunch of them? You'd be like, ugh. Okay, wait, back to validating. Feels unfair, right? It feels unfair. I think what you need, because what I think you have is resentment, and that you had to suppress, that you've not been able to talk about because you feel like maybe it's not your place, or you think nothing's going to happen, or he's really closed off. But I think not coming because men quickly, no offense men, but what I've noticed in certain circumstances that certain men tend to feel like they are being interrogated when the woman would be like, I'm asking you some fucking questions. Like I'm seeking clarity, not interrogation, but we're people, we're humans. We're more defensive than other people and we're triggered. So you gotta tread lightly. I need you to praise him. Say, and you're like, what? Excuse me, come again. You just mentioned you have a great sex life. Compliment him. Say, hey, I love the way you fuck me. Some sort of compliment, okay? Make him feel good. Make him think for 0.5 seconds, like, are we able to get it on? Psych! Or maybe do this post-pillow talk. Post-nut? Ooh, experiment. Will his post-nut clarity? I don't know. Just say, would you care? Would you care if I was looking at dicks all day long and being like, God, I want that inside of me? And if he's like, that turned me on, then we have more to talk about. But if you were like, and I was chatting, I was talking, gets my rocks, it makes me feel good. If he's like, oh, I don't care, then I don't know how much he super respects you or himself or your marriage. So I guess that would be a good idea to like get in clarity about what you view acceptable in your marriage and what takes place when you're not around one another. Because now we've got like some incompatibility issue going on. You're not in alignment with your values. So, something there. But if he's like, no, that would make me feel shady or that would hurt my feelings or I'd feel jealous or like, get like talking like that, be like, well, you know what? I feel jealous. It makes me feel insecure. It makes me feel angry because I feel like I'm supposed to accept this, like, or else it's like, I have to accept this. Where I was so that person. Like, I'll do like, just as long as you don't cheat on me. Like, what do I have to do to keep you? You want to go look at naked girls every day on the computer? If that's what it takes to keep you. I got older. I got wiser. I got stronger. So, no, you can have boundaries. You can say, I want to partake in that, watching that together. This is where I struggle. I do think there are some personality types, and I'm like, at what point are we as people just supposed to respect someone else's alone time? What about that? There's different arguments that come up that I feel like you can find really good points. So it's hard for me to settle on one truth is basically what I'm getting to. It's hard for me to give a definite, because I think for some people they can't use it in a healthy way. And I think there's some people that are capable of using it in a moderate, healthy way, and it doesn't impact their sex life. So he'll know that answer and you won't. So I guess if I were you, I would before I did anything, actually, which I don't think it's bad to share your feelings instead of like how would you feel starting off, of just like, I notice that I think about this and then I feel like that makes me feel insecure a little bit, like jealous or confused as to like why it's okay, I guess, and like how does this impact us and how am I supposed to feel about this and what is supposed to even mean. I think that could be a good constructive conversation. It can feel really empty and suck if you're talking to a person with low emotional intelligence or an unwilling, emotionally unavailable, which I associate with low emotional intelligence, an avoidant, detached, wounded. Okay, so it can suck sometimes, but can also be really helpful, so worth trying. But first, I would really look at my relationship, and you said he's great husband, great guy, good father. what makes him that? So now ask yourself, and you need to know the answers. Like there needs to be something that comes to mind. Because if it's like, I know I call him that, but now when I think about it. So think about that. And then what makes your sex life great? Because you said it was great. Is it you always get off? Is it you feel really close when you're together? You all have a nice balance of like maintenance sex and passionate sex. I don't know. I don't know. The frequency is great for both of you. Do you know if he's satisfied with the frequency? Or do you know, like, yeah, he's got the higher drive, but I don't want it all the time, but I want it enough. Like, because I couldn't help, my little paranoid brain is like, I wonder if he's a sex addict or something. Or just like, yeah, because it's not affecting you where you can't get it up. You're like, no, he's fucking me all the time. And he's watching porn, so he's masturbating, and he's talking to bitches. It's like, that can get out of control. And at some point, it will affect your sex life and it will affect your intimacy. And how do you know about the chit-chatting shit? If the porn if you can see that it is very frequent, then that's kind of the conclusion I'd come to. And I'm just going to stop right now and move on. That's not fair. That's not very nice. But I don't know how that wouldn't be impacting your marriage in some way. That's what that does. So then I don't want to gaslight you or say like, oh, are you just like disgusted by this that you have, maybe you feel like it's out of control when it's not because it's so repulsive to you? I don't know. I don't know. As your sister, I would tell you, like, I need some more facts. I want to know dates. I want to know times. I want to know topics. I want to know I want to know duration. And I definitely, the chit-chatting part is like the biggest red flag to me of like a boundary. So boundaries definitely need to be established. And if there's an issue with him receiving that, hearing that, then this is way beyond his porn use, if you catch my drift. So please follow up and tell me, please, please, please. So last question. I've talked for enough. She talked long enough. Last question, and we're going home. I'm home. And we're ending this episode. Love you long time. See you next week. Don't leave me. You better subscribe. So porn addiction. Someone asked me to talk about how to get out of that, I guess, the cycle, which this transitions nicely. Like, say that is that man's truth, which wouldn't make me, my jaw would stay right intact. First things first, I can't tell you, but I would say that you should go to therapy. You should stop watching it. And you're like, if I'm compulsively can't watch it, then you better fucking go to therapy, because it's probably not going to be something you're able to do on your own accord. So I guess the biggest question is am I willing? And you're like, you sound like you're asking someone to give up heroin or crack, and you're talking about porn. But the sad thing is, and you can Google all the stories you want and the sad Reddit forums and the articles and the videos and the interviews of porn destroying people's lives. And when in that episode, the porn, the good, the bad, and the ugly, I always bring up how the studies have shown that it's more beneficial for women than it is men. And it's because I think of those women who have felt asexual or felt so like they grew up so religious. They don't know anything about their body, anything about pleasure. They don't know what they like. They don't know what turns them on. And that can be eye-opening. But now there's so much fucked up shit and dark shit. And I know there always has been, but it's some stuff, just doesn't sit right with you, which I don't end up there. But it exists. You've lived long enough, you heard enough stories, you've come across enough things to know there's some dark shit in this world. That Bonnie Blue girl, that doesn't sit, that's dark to me. I couldn't even finish my sentence. That does not sit well with me. This young girl who looks so much more mature than she is, beautiful girl, but looks older than she is. And that wasn't she looks wrinkly and old and bad. No, she just has a more mature look to her. And she truly looks like her eyes have nothing behind it. And it's like, not like she's on Xanax or something. No light behind her eyes, but like no light behind her eyes, no light. Like possessed by a succubus. The whole like 1,000 men in whatever hours. And then she's doing this like Bonnie Blue petting zoo where like she's going to have herself tied down in a glass box and let men do something to her. And like there was this like weird bitch. I don't even want to say her name. And she's associated with the dark side. Like very, if you look at her art, if you look like it's very, 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 very dark. There's no denying the darkness. She did something like that, like as a display of art, not pornography in a sense, but it became very sinister. How did we get here? And it just seems so setting women back in the worst way. And I'm not a modern feminist. I will never claim that title. But it just really it's sad. It's disappointing. It's a complete display of a lack of self-love, self-worth. And that's very sad. Sense of self, very sad. And the sad part is like, if you said that to her, she'd laugh and be like, you know what you're fucking talking about. Like, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm smart. I made this much money. It's like, at what cost? Like that's selling your soul. That's selling out. Okay, porn addiction. Let's go back. We're saying there's a lot of dark to it. So it's easy to see how it's like when something is that polarizing, or is it polarized or controversial or has so much bad tied to it, why wouldn't we just like not have it in our lives at all? That's how my husband feels about it. It's like, if you know all this can come with it. And I think it's knowing yourself and knowing how intentional of a person you are. And if you're more, I'm on a whim, I'm based on how I feel, and like naturally how I came out of the womb, like impulsive ADHD, but as I've gotten older, and especially with therapy and with personal growth, reading, getting older, experiencing more life, I've become a far more intentional person. Proud of myself. My mommy would be so proud. She would be. My mommy would be so proud. I wish she was here for this. I really do. Because I feel like I only got a couple of years as a mom with her. Is Jordan going to cry right now? Okay, love your parents. Porn addiction. What the fuck? What are we doing? I think you have to stop watching it. And I think you need to go to therapy, and I think you need to reset your system. They say people that are getting off opiates and off heroin, that it takes like, I don't know if this is true at all, but it means something. It takes half the time they used it to like get those centers back in their brain going, where they experience pleasure with like everyday things that normal people that hadn't been using experience pleasure, something that make them excited, happy, warm, upbeat. That person is not going to feel that for a very, 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 very long time, because they've fucked with the pleasure centers of their brain. Did that make sense kind of at all in any way? So they got to like get that shit back. Think if you were like rolling, if you took Molly, if you've ever done a drug ever in your life, and how the come down doesn't feel amazing, and you're like depressed, and you know that like, oh, I won't feel depressed forever, but like right now I'm like this because of what I did last night, drinking, having a hangover, all of that shit. But people that are like drug addicts, or, you know, they've been doing it for a lot longer, not just some weekend party night. So it's going to take them a lot longer. So if someone's addicted to porn and they use porn and it's been years or however long, I think it would be harder to stop, not want it, not enjoy sex, struggle to get a boner, all those kinds of things. So have some grace for yourself. Blue Chew, you're like, where the fuck? She does talk about Blue Chew a lot, but it makes me think of that. I had a listener write in saying they were going from like excessively watching porn, where it was really destroying his relationship. So he stopped watching porn, and it was really hard for him to have sex with his significant other, because he was so used to having like, he would have to watch porn and then go have sex IRL to get ready to be able to have sex. So he used Blue Chew to kind of like bridge that gap, which I mentioned bridging earlier in this episode, I think. So it took out that mental aspect of like, I feel mentally fucked. And that's going to ultimately hurt, like my body's not going to work. So blood flow go into this brain and worry, not this brain. So the Blue Chew takes that out of the equation. This lighting. Sorry, guys. I think I fucked y'all up with the lighting, didn't I? Too bright. It's like right here. And I'm just at the end of the episode. Too late. I feel like it changes every time I move. I really need some water. Oh, this porn talk is making me parched. I want to commend you for even asking. And then I was like, can I talk about this in a future episode? And you're like, yeah, because there's so many guys that can relate to you. There's forums out the butthole for you. Google's beautiful. And there are so many resources for you as well. And nothing will get better unless you do something about it. You can't fix something that you can't see. You're aware, you see it. So now that you're aware, I mean, you feel even worse if you know there's something that you should do something about and then you don't do it. You're going to start to like hate yourself a little bit. You're going to be like, this is on me. So this is your kicking off point. I believe in you. Keep asking questions. Talk to other people. It's not embarrassing. It's not uncommon. This therapist, if you talk to a therapist, if you talk to ChatGPT, for fuck's sake, neither of them give a fuck. Because one's not a person and one's getting paid. And they've heard way more fucked up. This light was a bad idea. So bright. It's like, it makes me look flawless, but it's making me look like Casper the Ghost at times too. Okay, if you liked this episode, you're like, sure, leave me 5 stars on Apple Podcast. Make sure you're subscribed if you're on YouTube, or if you're not on YouTube, come on over, click subscribe, the little bell, leave a comment. Join us every Monday. Love you long time. See you next time.